Lost and Found came to Valparaiso this weekend to host and perform Luther the Rock Opera.
And Valpo Fit Lab is hosting its grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony this upcoming Friday.
Temperatures here across northwest Indiana, but cooler temperatures are on the way. I'll detail that and how windy it'll get here coming up.
We have that and more. This edition of 15 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us on 15 News at 5. I'm Colin Luft.
And I'm Heather Bricka.
On Sunday, October 20th, Lost and Found, a two-man band who are traveling the country performing mostly their own original pieces about Martin Luther's Reformation, came to Valparaiso University to perform. We sent Andrew Struckman out to learn more about this exciting event.
Four years ago, we retired from full-time touring after a lifetime of adventure. We ran into, in Boulder, Colorado, we ran into our friend Rich Melheim, and he had just published a graphic novel about the life and times of Martin Luther. He said, you guys should write some music that would kind of tell this story. And we did.
So it's sort of like the songs go with the graphic novel, but also stand alone on their own. Like they tell the story of the beginning of the Protestant Reformation.
We ended up playing the rock opera at the Luther 500 Festival in 2017. And then we thought it would be fun to come out 6 nights a year during the week of Reformation Sunday and play the show around the country. And we had a note from our friend Paul, who's a teacher here at the university, who said, man, you guys should come to Valpo. And, you know, and the idea was basically that we'd write some catchy tunes, and people would be able to use those to kind of remember the events that took place.
On Friday, October 18th, the Valparaiso University Programming Council hosted Rockin' and Rollin' Valpo After Dark. Students were invited to skate in the roller rink in the Hari Union ballrooms while listening to Coastal Club, a band from Cincinnati. From avid skaters to beginners, students from all grade levels came out to enjoy the night. While taking a break from skating, students showed their dance moves on the dance floor, jamming out to the live music.
Registration for the spring semester is upon us. All Valpo students need to contact their primary advisors for appointments to discuss their spring 2020 schedule. It is important that students should check the restrictions menu on DataVU and see what their holds are on their records and contact the appropriate offices to resolve them. There will be advising holds on students until they meet with their primary advisor. Registration times will be on DataVU. Students should check their time to make sure they don't miss it. Registration will begin Monday, October 28th.
And Valpo Fit Lab is hosting its ribbon cutting ceremony this coming Friday, October 25th. Valpo Fit Lab is presented by the Exercise Science Program and the Department of Kinesiology here at Valpo. With Valpo Fit Lab, the Valparaiso community has access to a variety of fitness assessments and knowledgeable students to help better understand your overall health and physical activity goals. Assessments range anywhere from $10 to $150. The grand opening and ribbon cutting is set for Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Human Performance Lab in the Arc on the west side of the building. If you attend the grand opening, you will be entered to win a comprehensive fitness package valued at $150. Stop by if you're curious about what the Fit Lab is all about.
And VU will be hosting its annual Family Weekend this weekend, October 25th through the 27th. The university has a multitude of events scheduled, including family meals, a trip to the County Line Orchard, a home football game, and more. A full schedule is available on the UPC page of Valpo's website. In addition, you are asked to register any family members or siblings who will be staying in the residence halls over the weekend.
And this week's poll is out. What's your favorite children's television network to watch as a child? Was it Disney, PBS Kids, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, or something other than that. Head over to our Twitter page after the broadcast to cast your vote. We have 15 at 5 meteorologist Blake Harms in the studio today to tell us about this fall weather on the first day of autumn. So Blake, how long is it till we get those cool, crisp autumn temperatures?
Yeah, well, before we get to that, I'm a big Nickelodeon guy. Just wanted to put that out there. We have seen some clearing, dramatic clearing here in northwest Indiana. We had a thick layer of clouds over the region through much of the afternoon, but that has cleared out quite quickly. And along with that, our temperatures have risen a little bit. We're at 65 degrees here in Valparaiso, 63 Michigan City, 63 in Romeoville, across the board, low to mid 60s. So we look at radar, we see the last of the rain showers pushing out of the region, just reaching South Bend right now. And this is all part of a larger system. It's going to be working its way through the region, providing some windy conditions for us. As we look at tomorrow, we start off the day in the upper 40s. We don't climb up much above that. Our high near 50. Very windy conditions continuing through much of the day. I'll detail that coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Blake. I'd have to agree. Nickelodeon is one of my favorites too. History has been made with the first all-female spacewalk.
And Hong Kong is witnessing its 20th straight weekend of pro-democracy demonstrations. Stick with us.
Valparaiso University, where passion meets purpose.
Well, history has been made far above the Earth's horizon. The first ever all-female spacewalk went down on the International Space Station Friday morning. Reed Binion has the latest.
We recognize that it is a historic achievement, and we do, of course, want to give credit to all of those that came before us.
Two female astronauts making history, emerging from the International Space Station. With one small step, they took a giant leap for womankind. NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Christina Cook successfully completing the first ever all-female spacewalk.
I can tell you, the hard work certainly did pay off.
Repairing a faulty battery unit that was keeping newly installed batteries from increasing power to the station. The voice guiding them through it all back on Earth in mission control, astronaut Stephanie Wilson.
I have to ask, where are we flying over? It's beautiful.
Christina, Jessica, we are flying over the Middle East. Christina, Jessica, please stand by for a call from the President of the United States.
President Trump congratulated the astronauts as they carried out their duty.
You're very brave, brilliant women, and you represent this country so well.
For us, this is really just us doing our job. It's something we've been training for 6 years and preparing for.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And Hong Kong is witnessing its 20th straight weekend of pro-democracy demonstrations. Huge crowds are marching in one of the city's biggest tourist districts as the months-long political crisis continues in the former British colony. It's an unauthorized march. The rally, originally planned by Civil Rights Front, or CHRF, was refuted by the Appeal Board on Public Assembly and Procession on Saturday. Protesters are expected to march from Shim Sha Tsui to West Kowloon subway station in Hong Kong.
And the Prince Estate released previously unheard music Thursday to honor the 40th anniversary of the iconic musician's self-titled second album. The song is in an acoustic version of I Feel For You. A fully produced studio recording of the song appeared on the album Prince, which was released October 19, 1979. The recording was created in the winter of 1978. I Feel For You became the top 10 hit for R&B singer Chaka Khan in 1984. Her version won 2 Grammys. Now the acoustic version released by Prince's estate is available on streaming platforms and is also a limited edition 7-inch vinyl single with the acoustic version on one side and the original studio recording on the other. The release comes 3 years after the Prince's death in April 2016 from an accidental overdose from opioid fentanyl.
The following is a result of a hit and run in Pennsylvania. The culprit, a deer. Police say a buck ran across a roadway and straight into the side of the van Saturday morning. The animal smashed into a side window and was stuck for a little while before finally freeing itself. The deer then ran into the woods. Fortunately, no one in the van was seriously hurt. Now, when you are going through rural areas, remember to watch out for deer this time of year. They can do a lot of damage to you and your vehicle if they are hit.
I know I have to watch out for deer when I'm driving back home. And coming up after the break, Blake Harms will have your full forecast.
And we'll take a look at this week's past Crusader sports. Stick with us. Spark a new idea. Spark a desire to learn. Spark a passion for exploring the field of STEM as we go beyond the final frontier and explore the latest in virtual reality and artificial intelligence. We will play with robots and maybe make a mess or two. For the show keeping you up to date on everything in the world of science, technology, and innovation, join us Friday evenings at 7 p.m. on VUTV Channel 15 or online at valpovutv.org/sparked.
Well, it was a dreary start to the week today. Windy, rainy conditions. The main time frame of concern for tonight, we have some windy conditions that'll prevail into much of the day tomorrow. Beyond that, we have a cool down in store, but perhaps some pleasant conditions shaping up for this weekend. I'll get to that and more. Right now, some rain showers beginning to clear out of the region just exiting South Bend. We had some heavy sideways mist falling today, a very nasty combination throughout the region. This is all part of a large storm system that's beginning to sweep its way through the Midwest. That's what will be providing those windy conditions for us here in the next 24 hours. So you look at temperatures right now, 65 degrees in Valparaiso, 63 in Michigan City, 65 in Joliet as well across the board, mid-60s. As we look at temperatures across the region, you'll see that cool air is starting to drag down behind this low, and that's what will begin to cool us down here in the next few days as well. Dew points, you see these dry conditions. The last of the moisture is just exiting our region along with those rain showers. Beyond that, we should stay dry over the next few days as this dry air settles in across the northwest Indiana region. 24-hour temperature change, more of the same here is what I've been showing. You see these cooler air being dragged down from Canada, and that's what we'll be providing those cooler air for us in the next few days. So you time out your future temperatures, we'll get down to the mid-40s overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, 44 here in Valpo. We won't warm up much throughout the day, upper 40s to perhaps 50 degrees in the afternoon, and those windy conditions will be prevailing throughout much of the day. As we head through the evening on tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, we'll see those temperatures dip even cooler. Few regions could get close to freezing. As we head throughout the day to Wednesday, we could see those temperatures climb back up to near 60. As we look at future wind gusts, tonight into tomorrow is that main time frame of concern. We could see a few regions approach wind gusts of 40 miles per hour. However, as we head throughout the day on Tuesday, we'll see those Wind gusts begin to gradually die down into Wednesday. Could still see some gusts nearing 20 miles per hour throughout the day on Wednesday, but not nearly as windy as it will be tomorrow morning into Tuesday. For your 7-day forecast, notice that we see a brief cool down throughout the end of the week, but perhaps and shaping up. We'll see those precipitation chances wind down too. Notice we only have one day with a somewhat substantial chance of rain showers, but not a washout by any stretch. So despite the cooler temperatures, we're not seeing any snow, which is good news. And on the other bright side, we could see some sunshine throughout much of this weekend. So
That's good to hear.
yeah, not a bad 7-day forecast.
I wouldn't mind some snow. Better than rain.
Careful what you wish for. It'll be
I
coming
know.
for a while.
We'll
I'll
have that
take
pretty
snow
soon.
better than rain any day.
All right.
Well, thanks, Blake. After the break, we'll have a recap of this past week's Crusader sports.
What is passion? At Valpo, it's something that pours out of us uncontrollably. It's a late-night shot of caffeine, cramming for finals, a jam session with friends. It sees deep into space, turns big stuff into small potatoes, floats boats, and floods the senses. Passion is alive. It has a heartbeat, and it lives in you. How do we know? Because at Valpo, passion is who we are.
Well, I think that's all we need. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be in touch.
Okay, this is it. Just shake his hand and walk out with your head held high. Don't mess this up. Thank you. Nailed it. Don't let a bad handshake get in the way of getting the job you want. Find out more at the Career Center.
As we take a look at a very busy week in Valpo sports, we start with the women's volleyball team as they had 2 matches this week. First, on Friday at Bradley, where they fell in 3 very close games, and they had another match on Saturday at Illinois State, where the Crusaders fell 3-1. Their next game is versus Loyola this upcoming Friday, October 25th. Football was in action this week at San Diego. The Crusaders were down early at halftime, but tried to work their way back, scoring a couple touchdowns in the third quarter. However, Valpo would fall to San Diego 42-17. Men's and women's soccer were both in action this weekend. As the men's team was visiting Milwaukee, the men outshot the Panthers 15-13, but fell 2-0. The women's team was in action at home against Evansville. A goal in the 25th minute would prove to be the kicker, as Valpo would go on to beat Evansville 1-0. The start of the men's basketball season is finally upon us, as the Crusaders open up their season with an exhibition match at home against Cedarville. Led by Javon Freeman Liberty with 21 points, Valpo would go on to win 85-65, being in control for the whole game.
I'm excited for Valpo basketball this year. What are your expectations?
My expectations are probably higher than last year. We did get some good recruits, and we lost a couple people, but I mean, I feel like we're going to do really well.
A fresh start might help. I
Well,
think.
last year we made improvements throughout the year, got a win in the Missouri Valley tournament.
That's true.
Definitely.
Small steps.
Yeah, well, thanks, Nick. After the break, Blake will have a final look at the weather.
Knock, knock.
Hey, Blake.
Well, hey there, Sophie. Why the long face?
There's nothing good on.
Well, have you tried movies.valpo.edu?
Movies.valpo.edu?
It's free, and you can stream hundreds of your favorite movies like Baby Driver and A Star is Born.
Thanks, Blake. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Wait a second. I knew I was sitting on something.
So we have one big day of concern in the next 7 days, and that's tomorrow. We could see wind gusts approaching 40 miles per hour here across the region. Beyond that, things calm down quite a bit. Slight chance of showers on Thursday. Otherwise, perhaps a pleasant weekend in store. Temperatures nearing 60 on Sunday. Plenty of sunshine, so should be a nice fall week in store, with the exception of today and tomorrow.
Just got to get through today and tomorrow, though.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, Blake, I have a question for you. This one's from Yahoo Answers. Anonymous asks, is it rude to politely ask someone to be quiet?
I don't think so, but it's very hard to say that without coming across that way.
Yeah, I think it's nice to say, like, if it's bothering you to be quiet, but it could come off that way as well.
Well, what if you have a neighbor that is yelling constantly till like 1 a.m. at his video games? I mean, can you be nice about that?
Maybe he doesn't know.
Yeah.
The walls are paper thin. I mean,
They're cinder blocks.
Not really.
Well, if you have a question for us, send it out our way on Facebook or Twitter at Valpo VUTV, or if you want to give Nick some advice about his roommates, we might answer your questions. Send screenshots of forums, questions you've been asked, or questions that you have for yourself. Well, from all of us at VUTV, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next Monday on 15 News at 5.